Hello, Mr. Ghazali.
Hi.
Yeah, thank you for agreeing to do this podcast. So, can you firstly introduce yourself? Introduce to the Malaysian audience. Yeah.
Awesome. So, my name is Mr. Ghazali. I'm teaching in Singapore. So, I'm in the Singapore education system. I teach in a secondary school. My subjects that I teach are English language and English literature. So, basically, in the school, my function is I'm a teacher leader. So, what I do is I do professional development for my staff, my teachers in the school, and I also do professional development for the cluster of schools, a group of schools that are in a particular cluster. And yeah, so and my hobby or my interest is in using artificial intelligence in education to teach my subject.
Okay. Thank you for introducing yourself. So, you yourself, you are an English teacher. All right, and you teach English literature. So, I
Yes.
would like to know how have you incorporated artificial intelligence in your teaching of English, and
Mhm.
please share some successful examples.
Okay, so this is a big topic because I practically use AI for almost all of my teaching practices. So, for example, currently my project with my team is to use AI to give students immediate or fast feedback based on their writing because we read from studies that for the best or most effective feedback, the students should get their feedback as early as possible. But for English, because you're an English teacher as well, when we mark our composition or our essay, sometimes it can take 1 week, 2 weeks to finish one whole class of like 35 students. So that's very long. And it's no wonder when students get back their work, right? All they're interested in is, sure, how many marks did I get? They don't care about the feedback because by then they also forgot what are the challenges that they faced when they were doing the work. So with AI, what we can do now is to give them almost immediate feedback so that they can make use of the feedback. They can remember, oh, I had difficulty in my spelling or I had difficulty in my vocabulary. And then the AI will give them the feedback and how to improve. Not only that, we don't just want to highlight mistakes, we also want to highlight strengths so that the students remember next time when I write, I must make sure that I repeat these strengths so that I get high marks. Okay, so that is in very big area in terms of giving effective feedback. Now, for in terms of teachers' work, I use AI to set quality exam papers. So that is something really amazing about AI. I can ask AI to help me set a paper that is similar in standard to the O levels, the exam that the students are taking, to closely mimic a particular text that Cambridge likes to use for its O-level exam, and also the question stems that comes out during these comprehension papers that they do. So that means that my students get to practice the standards of the O-level exam in the classroom with the help of AI. And not only that, for us, we have papers such as oral exams, we have listening compre exams, and you may know that AI can now generate voices. So one of the things that may be difficult for our students is that they don't recognize accents. So whenever they listen to the text, they say, "Teacher, I don't understand. I can't understand because of the accent." So now AI can mimic English accent, American accent, Australian accent, even my own Singaporean accent. It can mimic, so that this gives the students practice in the classroom. Yeah, and of course, the one of the things that we also want to teach is spoken interaction or oral exam, and you can do this very easily in a simple software like PowerPoint. There's a coaching tool that can give feedback as the students are practicing their spoken interaction, their oral C skills. It can tell them whether they have too much fillers or they're using too much of the slides, not giving enough of their own input. And these are the kinds of data that is useful for communication skills. Yeah, so it's amazing the things that the AI can do now to help teachers. So those are just some of them. I cannot touch on everything.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. Well, as an English teacher myself, I would like to know what are the AI apps or AI websites that you use to input students' writing for them in order for them to get the immediate feedback.
Okay, so for me, when it comes to feedback, I use this site called Po.ai. So in Po, why I like Po rather than using like ChatGPT is because it has a section called knowledge base. So if you use ChatGPT to input students' work, ChatGPT may use information it uses from all over the internet. So when it's assessing the piece of work, it could be using an American assessment system like SATs, or it could be using the IB program assessment. So what I can do with this particular application is that I can put in my O level rubrics, marking rubrics into the knowledge base. So when the chatbot is assessing the student's work, it will only look at the specific O level marking rubrics. So I get something a feedback that's more tailored to my students' needs. Yeah, so that is one of the things that I use, which is POE.ai. You can Google on it, and I think it will immediately pop up because it's a very popular chatbot designing tool.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Thank you for that. I think I'm gonna explore that website after this because
Yes,
I
you must
yeah.
immediately.
Yeah, because like you said, we tend to, when we check their composition, we tend to take a lot of time just to complete
Yes,
everything. So yeah. So Po.ai also helps teachers in reducing workload. Am I right?
definitely, definitely. How long
Yeah,
does it
yeah.
take you to mark one piece of work
Well,
for writing?
I would say if I were to really read everything, like
Mhm,
and then evaluate it against the rubric
mhm.
that we have in Malaysia, I guess it
Yep.
will take around like 10 to 20 minutes.
Yes, and then
Yeah,
that's the feedback with the comments that you make, and the comments that you make probably will be like to give one strengths and to give two weaknesses for the students to work on, and then you'll
yeah.
be marking for punctuation, spelling, grammar. All this will be done by the AI in about 30 seconds. So, and not only
Wow.
that, the feedback that it generates won't be like one strengths and two weaknesses for the students to work on. It can be as much as 3 pages of feedback. So the students have so much feedback to work on. They can pick and choose which one they want to work on to help them improve in their language. So you can see with AI, it multiplies. This is an important word, multiplier effect. It helps us multiply the benefits, the positive benefits of the piece of work. Whereas last time the students only get one strength and two weaknesses kind of feedback. Now they get 3 pages, everything from how to improve to examples of their mistakes to examples of how to do the correction and make something even better. Yeah, so these are the things that you can get, the kind of feedback that you can get, and then you attach it to the piece of work and you return to the students the next day. They will be amazed how fast you are working.
This is the thing that all of us actually need. Yeah,
Yes, yes,
yeah.
I know that a lot of teachers are like, for where I come from, a lot of English teachers, they don't want to be English teachers because of the marking load. Our marking load is heavy, very heavy. So this is one way that can reduce the marking load and make teachers' life a bit easier.
Yeah, true. And also, you mentioned earlier about, you don't want students to only know about their grades, but you also want them to
Yes,
know about what kind of feedback that they should be getting so they can improve. And yeah, in Malaysia, it's the same. They always focus on the grades. I didn't want that, so I would write the feedback on their test papers, but
yeah,
like you said, it takes a long time. So with Po.ai, I hope to
yes.
like reduce my workload. Yeah.
Definitely. So imagine that you can produce 3 pages worth of feedback. Then the students can see where they can work on to improve, and then they can, it flips the role now. To me, the students must always work harder than the teacher. If the teacher is working harder than the student, something is wrong, because the students are going for the exam, not the teacher. So it must always push it back to the students to do more work than the teacher. That's how you get results.
Yeah, yeah, you're definitely right, because I think um well, for us Malaysian teachers, we are also like, but we have a lot of workload as well. But like you said, there's something
Ah,
wrong if our students are not doing more than us, because they're the ones sitting for their we call it Malaysian examination certificate. So
yes.
yeah, you're definitely
And
right.
and right now I only cover what the students can do. I haven't yet even cover what the AI can do to help teachers reduce their workload. There's so many things that can be done. Yeah. So for example, there are applications online that can help you design lesson plans. So I know you, before you lesson, you have to submit lesson plans, or you have to design lesson plans so that you can show to your senior teachers, or your administration, or you need to file it into your teacher's portfolio. So lesson plans can be designed very fast, under 1 minute. Then later you just modify according to your student's profile. Yeah, so that's one area. Second, it can help you co-construct lesson activities. So you can prompt the AI, give me engaging lessons that my student will find fun and interesting for this particular topic. So that that students' engagement levels are increased, motivation levels are increased. Then you can even ask AI to design for you the homework that the students should be doing. Because right now, one of the major concern is that with AI, the kind of homework that we used to give as English teachers will not work anymore. We cannot tell our students, okay, for homework, write an essay, describe a scary place. Because they will just go to ChatGPT and give the ChatGPT the same question, describe for me a scary place, and then they will submit it as their homework the next day. So then you as a teacher will be marking ChatGPT. You're not marking your students' work. And then you'll be puzzled, wow, so perfect their homework. But when it comes to the exam, then they're not scoring as much. Then we're wondering why. Well, this is one of the drawbacks of AI that we must be wary about.
Yeah, true. So speaking of drawbacks, what challenges have you personally faced when incorporating AI into your teaching? And perhaps you could also like share a bit about your colleagues' experience. Yeah.
Okay, so when it comes to AI, right, for teachers, especially when you're new, you may require extensive training. When I say extensive, it doesn't mean it's heavy training. It's just that there are so many AI tools now available, and there's so many things that you can do. So you will have to learn as much as you can, as fast as you can, because the AI tools are just increasing rapidly every day. And the tools that are already on the market are becoming more and more powerful every day. So that is one of the things that one of the challenges that I face is in keeping up with the tools. Then the second challenge is this AI. It involves collecting, analyzing large amount of student data. So there is a concern with teachers, with schools about data privacy, security, and also ethical use of the information, especially if you're teaching in a primary school. There are age limits. Like for example, ChatGPT below age of 13 you cannot use. It's in the terms and conditions. So then, how do these primary school teachers gain the benefit of using AI when there's such age limits involved? Then, of course, there's also finding the right balance between the AI tools and your traditional teaching methods, because you cannot just throw away your traditional teaching methods. Especially for Singapore, when we have so much success in education, using the old methods, it shows that it works. AI just makes things maybe faster, or you can reap the rewards faster, but you cannot throw away the old methods. So you must find the right balance to combine the old ways and the new ways. Okay, so I guess these are some of the challenges that we face right now when it comes to incorporating AI. And for my colleagues, one of the common things I hear, usually they say that either two is a spectrum. So either students trust teachers more. They don't like to use the AI because they trust their teachers more. They've been with their teachers for 3-4 years, so they believe in their teachers. Then they don't trust the feedback that they get from AI. Or it's at the other extreme. they trust the AI feedback too much. And as you know, AI feedback may not be accurate. There are things that are like hallucination, bias. So these are the things that need to be taught to the students before they even start using AI.
Yeah, so I guess those challenges are also related to some ethical considerations, right? For you, what are some of the ethical considerations that you take into account when using artificial intelligence in your classroom?
Okay, so the first thing is that AI can perpetuate or amplify existing biases in the data that they are trained on. So we must be careful because we are Asian country. The data that they get might be more Western based. So you will have more Western ideology or culture, being promoted. So you may not want that because you might want to have a balance of things that are from our own country or our own culture. Yeah, so we do not want to be overly influenced, maybe, by other cultures if we want to preserve our own identity, our own values. So that's something that we must look at and be very careful when we are using AI. So this is where they call what they call something that is very important, this concept of human in the loop, whereby you still need teachers. You cannot take teachers away because teachers are the ones who safeguard these things, the values, that we find important, the culture that we find important, that we want to preserve. So that's why this is now like the new role of the teacher in the age of AI. We become like custodians or guardians, and make sure that the guardrails are in place to protect our students where necessary lah. So that's one of the ethical consideration. The second one involves a bit of educational philosophy or idea, in the sense that AI should support and enhance student learning, not undermine their autonomy. Okay, so students should have control over their learning process and not become overly dependent on AI tools. So this is where we must be careful of this term they call cognitive atrophy. Cognitive atrophy means that when you just rely on AI 100% for your answers, you stop thinking. Because right now the answer is so fast and you can get it so easily. Just ask AI. You get all your answers, all your problems solved. In terms of the homework that you do, in terms of the studies, there is less of a need to be cognizant of facts and doing research, finding information, because everything is at your fingertips now. So when that happens, right, then we think less, or rather, the students will be thinking less. What we want is to use AI in such a way that the students thinking, they can still use their higher order cognitive thinking abilities rather than relying on everything on AI, because then it's a detrimental effect. Their thinking process is not developed and they will not be able to improve in their knowledge base. So those are some of the things that we have to be careful when it comes to ethical considerations.
Yeah, like what we have been listening, everywhere when it comes to AI, they said that okay, AI is just a tool to aid us. It's not to replace us. So
Yes.
basically, I think that's the gist of what you've been saying,
Yep.
especially regarding when sometimes the students they will depend on AI, and not just students. Sometimes us, as teachers as well. Some of us we tend to commit that as well. But with I mean, this applies to everything, I guess, or everything that we see online, whether we watch YouTube videos or whether we read books.
Yes.
We need to be critical of what we consume, and that includes AI generated information, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess that's
True.
the thing that we need to consider, because I think people have been, how artificial intelligence has been, suddenly it has been booming, since late
Yep.
2022, and
Yep.
people think it's like, oh, this will be it will um go beyond human intelligence. But I think now what we have to do is we need to be critical of whatever that's been, what AI has been feeding us in some way, or how we look at AI. we need to be
Yeah.
critical of everything. Like, I mean, it's the same goes for like whatever articles we read online, newspaper
Mhm.
articles, or whatever that we Google online. We still need to be critical of them, right? And basically, like for example, generative AI. From what I understand, that
Mhm.
okay, they basically they synthesize everything that's on Google and whatever, right? Data
Mhm.
basically. So
Mhm.
they will synthesize everything, but at the same, but okay, they have synthesized it when we input a question, for example, on
Mhm.
ChatGPT. Okay, they get
Mhm.
the ChatGPT will give us the answer. But then again, at the same time, we also need to be critical of those answers. So it's the same.
Yes.
Basically, it's the same. That's how I view it. Like it's like um, Google search. Okay, the search engine. We type in whatever that we want on search engine, and then it will pop
Mhm.
up. Right, all of the answers will pop
Yep.
out. But so it's the same with generative AI. Basically, that's how I view it.
Mhm.
So it's we need to be critical of whatever we get lah on
Yes,
ChatGPT
and
or whatever generative AI web platform. Yeah.
correct, yes. And this is the important part. This is where the teacher's role comes in, because this AI, it should augment the human teaching rather than replace human teaching. So the human teachers must provide the essential insights, empathy, and understanding that AI cannot replicate, because we have the inherent experiences, we have our knowledge, right? And we need to double check what we get from AI, so that when we give this to our students, it is accurate. Because our students may not have our kind of, our level of knowledge, our level of experiences. So we must act as the guardrail to ensure that what they get is filtered through us, and to ensure the quality of the information, the data, the facts, are there, which means that the teachers need to improve and get better to ensure that they become good filters for this data. The teachers cannot have, like, for example, if you have no idea about a particular topic, and then you just use ChatGPT, and then you are forced to take 100% of what ChatGPT says, then that is dangerous. So that means teachers also must become smarter. So you need to have professional development. So that's where professional development is very, very important in this age of AI, so that teachers can become real guardians of the learning for the students.
Yeah, true. Okay, so with regards to the reception of using AI in the classroom,
Mm.
in some countries, for example, like in the US, from what I've heard, some
Mm-hmm.
states they do not allow teachers to use
Mm.
AI in their classroom, perhaps because of
Yep.
all this bias, plagiarism, and all that. Okay, so how about Singapore? How is the reception of using AI in the classroom in Singapore? Is it, I mean, are teachers encouraged to use AI, or is it just a few of the teachers in Singapore are doing it right now? Are teachers actively using it in Singapore? And what does the Singaporean Ministry of Education say about that?
Okay, this is the interesting part. I guess we will be similar to Malaysia, or the countries in our region, in the sense that we are open to AI. And then when we are open to AI and the teachers are allowed to use AI in the classroom, within limits, the teachers themselves also fall within a spectrum. So you may have teachers who don't think that AI is useful or don't trust AI, and on the other end of the spectrum, you may have teachers who are more IT savvy and they love the use of AI. So you will have two different extremes. So when I do my workshops, for example, right, so I will see already, I can tell from the expressions of the teachers when I'm teaching certain applications or certain prompt skills, prompt writing skills, you can tell, oh, okay, this teacher doesn't really believe in AI. And then, or you can see some teachers busily jotting down notes, or trying out the prompts on ChatGPT to find the best results they can get. Then oh, these teachers are the ones who are into AI and they want to use it in their classroom. So you will see a different range. And so that's my job, to try and get teachers to open up, to at least try the tools. You never know, because for me, it has been a game changer. So for me, I can do so much more than I did previously. So what I want is for other teachers to experience it themselves and use it effectively in their classroom to make their teaching better, to make the student learning better, to close learning gaps. And this is something that I believe that AI can help to do, provided we use the AI properly. Yeah.
Oh, so I'm interested to know, does the Singaporean Ministry of Education say anything about this? I mean, do they
Oh,
encourage?
certainly. Oh
Yeah.
yes, you may have heard. You can Google. Singapore has just released this EdTech Master Plan 2030.
Oh,
So based on the EdTech Master Plan 2030, the key goal of this is for in terms of students, right, to be digitally empowered, future-ready learners and innovators. Then for teachers, the aim of it is to be technologically adept, collaborative learning designers. And then for schools to be intelligent, responsive, digitally equipped learning environments. So you can see everything is focused on the digital aspect. We are ready to move ahead and we want to move fast. The EdTech Master Plan is 2030. Now it's already 2024. It's only 6 years away to achieve this plan. Normally, when you plan ahead, you plan 10 years ahead, 15 years ahead, right? But no, we see this as something that is very important. The world is changing, the world is becoming more digital, the world is there's this new kind of economy developing based upon AI technology. So we do not want our students to lose out. And this is why we come up with this EdTech Master Plan to help our students be prepared for the future world of work. There are some studies that say in 2030, everything will change. Half of the jobs that you see may not even exist anymore. I'm not sure whether it's 2030 or 2050, but basically in the future, things are changing a lot. And we need to prepare our students for this kind of change. And that's why we cannot restrict the use of AI in the classroom. In fact, we are trying to embrace the positive aspects of it while reducing the negative impact of it. That's what we try to do. We try and find a balance.
interesting. Yeah. So for Singapore, you have the EdTech Master Plan 2030. For Malaysia, we have the Digital Education Policy, which is also
Mhm.
geared towards to realize everything in the plan by
Mhm.
2030. Yeah. So
Yeah.
for us,
So
we
you see,
also yeah. So for us, we also focus on like the students to have tech savvy students, teachers,
yeah,
and then training school leaders, and then we also focus on like public and private partnership, because in Malaysia we
yeah,
have a lot of social enterprises, education social enterprises that can provide ed tech expertise to schools. Yeah, so so I believe both of our countries and governments, they are very open to artificial intelligence, integration of AI in the classroom. So that's why they have this sort of policy document set
yeah.
in place, so that they know how to strategize, and so that we have a tech savvy nation, some sort of, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why we should work closely together. So,
yeah,
to share our successes.
yes.
And we are so close, such close neighbors. You just have to cross the causeway. Yeah,
Yeah,
and there are many, many good schools, your side of the border and my side of the border. We should collaborate and design the very best tools so that we can develop the AI for the region. So that's something that is, I think, they should focus on.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, thank you for sharing the EdTech Master Plan 2030. That was, for me, that was quite interesting to know. There are parallels with Malaysia. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is where everybody, I think they can see that AI is very powerful. So any country that doesn't make use of AI will be left behind.
yeah.
So it is something that needs to be inculcated into the education system, but of course it must be done properly, managed properly, and that is the difficult part, so that we gain the benefits of AI and we reduce the bad sides of AI.
Mm-hmm. Agree. Okay, so earlier you said you met teachers who are into AI, and some of them, they are hesitant to use AI. So
Yes.
what advice would you give to educators who are hesitant or unsure about using AI in their teaching practices?
Okay. So now, This is what I cover in my workshop. So welcome, join my workshop. This is the things I give you a list right now of the things that I cover. So the five important things. Okay, so when you want to start using AI, first important thing, start small. AI is huge, it's big, and there's so many different types of it. Okay, so you need to begin by integrating AI tools into few specific areas of your teaching rather than trying to try everything and then try to change everything all in one go. No, don't do that. Okay, so for example, you can start with trying out like AI powered grammar checkers like Grammarly, Quillbot for writing assignments, or if you decide that you want to find something that is going to bring about the biggest advantage in the shortest amount of time, that's what we did. And we've decided to go with feedback tools for our students. Yeah. So, first thing, start small. Second, you must focus on complementing, not replacing. So the AI must complement your teaching, not replace it. So AI can handle very good at handling repetitive tasks, providing personalized feedback, offer data-driven insights, but it cannot replace the human touch of the teacher. You still need to build your TSR. TSR is a teacher-student relationship. This is very, very important. The human touch must not go missing in the introduction of artificial intelligence. Okay. Number three, you must always seek professional development. Take advantage of professional development opportunities related to AI in education. And now there are so many free courses out there. So many. Whether it's from Apple or Google or Microsoft, just sign up for it. Attend the workshops, webinars, training sessions. Build your confidence and competence in using the AI tools. Okay, with the idea that it makes you a better teacher, right? Number four, collaborate with your peers. Don't do it alone. One teacher alone trying to master the AI is not going to be easy. So that's why I form my own team in my school. So I try to grow more and more people join my team, and then we can launch big projects. Rather than one person, as a person myself alone, I cannot do much, right? So I need the help of my team members. So always collaborate with your peers, right? And lastly, I think most important, focus on student benefits. You keep the potential benefits of your students in mind, and AI can provide things like personalized learning experiences, immediate feedback, additional support to individual needs, for differentiated instruction. All these things it can do, right, for the benefit of your students. So when your students benefit, you close the learning gap, and then you increase your students outcomes, right? And then you have an impact on the current generation of students in your charge. And I think that is something that we really, really want to see in our teachers. Yeah, so these are the five things I normally cover in my workshops for training of teachers who just start to use AI in the classroom.
Yeah, thank you for all the points. I personally like how you said about starting small, because I believe
Yes.
when AI was just first when it first emerged, it felt like, yeah, totally futuristic and
Yeah.
unfamiliar for a lot of the teachers. And I believe, especially for veteran teachers, they have the
Yeah.
hesitancy to use tech, generally just tech. But
Mhm.
the way you say it, like starting small, like you don't have to like change everything. You have to just
No.
focus on, perhaps you want to focus on writing, start with writing, for example, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, that's very important. And yeah, I mean, tech, sometimes it can be overwhelming if you don't know where to start, right? So
Yes.
so the way you said it, starting small, that's a very good advice. And together with all of the advice that you have mentioned
Yeah.
earlier, yeah.
start
So
start small, start somewhere,
mhm.
uh, as long as you start. So
Yes,
that's
yes,
most important. You start
yeah,
from somewhere. It's like, you painting a room. You start at the corner. By the end, you have covered the entire wall. So you
yeah,
start for one corner, you end up in the other corner. Doesn't matter which corner you start, just start. And then slowly you will build your knowledge. And it's a multiplier effect when you have collaborators. That means you have fellow teachers who are also into AI come together, come up with a project. Then you will see that you can cover even more things, because two, three people can paint a wall faster than only one person. So, and it's less tiring. So it's always good to be able to collaborate. Um,
Yeah, definitely. And for me personally, as a teacher, AI has really reduced my workload, and it has really enhanced the way I teach in the classroom. So I'm really grateful for AI, and I'm grateful that for the Malaysian government, they encourage us to use AI. Even our prime minister, he encouraged us to use AI and all of that. Yeah. So
mhm.
yeah. So thank you for agreeing to do this interview. And I
My
really
pleasure.
appreciate, yeah, and I really appreciate your sharing on LinkedIn. I always look at them
Yes,
and I always look for
yes.
ideas on how I can incorporate them into my classroom. Yeah.
Please, yeah, follow me. Your followers. You can follow me on LinkedIn. My full name Ghazali bin Abdul Wahab. Just type it in, search for it in LinkedIn. I try to post every day. So I post on AI tools. I post on motivational psychology. I post on positive psychology. And then using AI to help students. So oh, I didn't cover this, but do you know that you can also use AI to help students with special needs, or students who are facing stress, students who are not motivated to come to school? There are actually ways that you can use AI to help you approach the students and gain back their motivation levels. So that's one of my side projects that I'm also looking at lah. So you can see the power of AI. It is really transformative. It can impact so many different areas of teaching. So you definitely must try, start somewhere, begin using AI, learn to use it. It is expanding every day. When we first started with ChatGPT, it can only you type, it respond, right? Now it can see images. Now it can talk back to you in whatever voice, whatever accent you want, right? Now sooner or later, the power of the AI, it can even reason or do mathematical things, mathematical concepts and reasoning at a much more advanced level. So more than just English subjects, math, science, humanities subjects, all will be able to benefit a lot from AI. So it's good to start now. The learning curve may be a bit steep, but it's okay, because the impact that you can see on your students will be very rewarding.
Okay. Thank you for that, Mr. Ghazali. I think that is a
Thank
great
you so
way
much.
to end this episode. The last few words from you. So, yeah, once again, thank you for agreeing to do this.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Auxilia.
All right.
It's been an interesting experience. This is my first podcast across the causeway. So I hope to have many more experiences, especially with my Malaysian counterparts.
Okay. So that is all.
Thank
Goodbye.
you.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Okay.